we're going to tell the story of Cinderella. Cinderella lived with her mean old stepmama and two old ugly stepsisters. Some folks say they's homely, I say they's ugly. Look like a couple old boar hogs. Anyway, they didn't treat Cinderella very well. Made sport of her quite a bit. Didn't pay her too much of a wage. They's pretty much no count. I think one of them's from Arkansas. But I reckon they's just jealous on account of Cinderella was a pretty little thing. Not much bigger than a squirrel. They made her live out in a shed in an old hole in the ground. And brung her biscuits and mustard 2 or 3 times a week. Living high on the hog, eating potted meat and soda crackers while they made her tote the wash and fix the mower. Well, there's a prince in town who kinda wanted him a girlfriend, I reckon. They decided to invite all the pretty people out to the castle. Some folks calls it a mansion, I calls it a castle. That mean old stepmama and them 2 old ugly stepsisters went on to the shindig and left poor old Cinderella out there to work on that tiller with the busted fan belt. Well, before you knowed it, Cinderella's fairy godmommy showed up, waving a magic stick. She gave Cinderella a pretty new dress and a pair of glass shoes. Some folks call them slippers, I call them shoes. And she went out in the garden and turned some rats and a pumpkin into a big old fancy wagon and some horses. Told old Cinderella to go on to the party. Better be home by midnight. That fairy godmama didn't want to go along because she's all stoved up from doing all that fairying. She's so old and give out. Well, Cinderella really hit it off with that old prince. She liked the way he talked and he liked the way she talked too. I figured they fell in love right off the bat. Well, sir, she got to dancing and talking and eating French fried potatoes. She kind of lost track of time. Midnight come around, she run out of her old glass shoes. Cinderella get home, that wagon turned back into a pumpkin. Them rats runned off summers. Next day, that old prince feller about had a fit looking for Cinderella. He toted that old glass shoe, tried it on this girl and then another. Finally, he tried it on Cinderella, and he's so happy he about bust. Cinderella and that prince feller went off to live in that castle and lived happily ever after, looking for lips and peckers and that potted meat and having a big time. Them old ugly stepsisters so ed up with it they wound up in the nervous hospital. Well, Cinderella never forgot her mean old stepmama and how cruel she was to her, and every time she thought about it, she just saw red. She got an old lawnmower blade out of the shed, went over to her house, killed her. Plumb near cut her head off, and she called an ambulance and a hearse. Moral of the story is, if you ain't good to your step-youngins, they might cut your head off. Get it? Yes, sir.